Hey guys, welcome to the fifth and final set between Iris looking for revenge against Saint. And this has been pretty exciting. I gotta say, Iris has got to be feeling a lot better than Saint after that last match. That was absolutely brutal on Saint, but Iris showing some really good stuff. It looks like he's going to be starting as a yellow terran, bottom right hand corner, bottom left hand corner. We have Saint, who I think was in orange. I missed the color there. We might see a color switch here momentarily. Once again, I have Ranchin alongside. I really want to see that color though, because I missed it on screen. This is okay, red. So it looks like they switched it to red, yellow. Might have been orange. Who knows? Anyway. Ranchin, hardcore warrior. I'm doing this pretty late at night. I'm feeling tired. Ranchin's staying up crazy late to do this duel with me. So special thanks to him. And again, this is live cast, so hope you guys are enjoying it and on the live stream, and we'll see if we can do more of this in the future. And I will go ahead and try to give the map to the live stream people while Ranchin talks a little bit.
So, Fighting Spirit, also apparently known as Blood Spot or Blood Sport or something along those lines. But 4-player map, and of all the maps in this tournament, the most balanced. And that's saying something. Still, finally a map where the Zerg can have a somewhat safe third gas. Not as close to their base that they might have wanted it, but a somewhat safe third gas that they can pick up. So finally a map there where going for 3-hatch build is somewhat viable, because so far we've just been seeing every Zerg going for 2-hatch builds and having to play off that. Mostly Mutalists to start off with, except for some funky, cheesy little tech switches here and there. And I'm expecting pretty much the same thing. I was going to go for his Rex first. I'm not expecting him to go anything but as usual, just Medic Marines, getting that natural expansion up pretty quickly. On the opposite side, we are going to see Saint go for that 12-hatch 4-player map, so it's fairly safe to do that. Overlord did go in the wrong direction for him, though, so he's going to take a while for him to get the scout. Iris going to send his SCV to the upper right-hand position as well, apparently. So it is going to take both players a little while to scout each other. So that pretty much indicates we're just going to play that much safer. So, yeah, I don't know. Just nothing really to say so far. Nothing really special that I expect. Just expect these guys to go for good old standard. I'm not really sure whether Saint is going to go for 3-hatch, though, just to react to Iris's most likely coming quick expansion. Or we're just going to stick to 2 bases, try to get some Mutalists out there, and try to actually get some damage with them.
Actually, I'm going to disagree with you, Ranchin, that this you must be a Zerg player, because this is an extremely Zerg-favored map and extremely hard on Terran. That natural expansion is very wide, and just kind of the positionings into it just leaves a lot to be... yeah, it's just a really Zerg-favored map. Easy to take third gas, easy to hold third gas. I think if Iris is going to take this match, he's got to do something special. He's got to do something creative. It looks like he's going 1 racks into expansion, at least initially. But look at that. You can see how wide that is and how exposed that is to Zergling run-bys, to any sort of big attack at that natural expansion. So I feel like Zerg can essentially do anything. And once again, Saint, wow, he's going to go for some sort of 2-hatch play. So I would not be surprised to see him go 2-hatch muted with some Zerglings to just try to end this quickly. But honestly, if he decides not to do that and instead take, and there's, yeah, that bunker to provide a little bit of latent defense, but if he does instead switch back and play a little bit more economic, take that 6 o'clock instead, or even that 9 o'clock away from Iris's main instead, I still think he could have some success. Honestly, try to get Iris to overproduce turrets, something along those lines. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. It looks like Saint's just wanting to play heads up and try to end this quickly, though. But I don't know. We'll see how it works out.
There's going to be a Hydra Den coming in alongside. So it's just people surprising on all sides. Iris going to lose that SCV, so that could be critical, because this could be a 2-base Lurker attack coming right in his front just to break it. And I definitely feel that the choke is wide enough. Second rack's just not coming up. I'm not seeing any sort of academy yet up soon, so he needs that scan up fairly soon. He's going to need that up just now, establishing his natural expansion alongside getting his refinery going. So this could be all about timing for Saint here. If he manages to get this attack out, and if Iris does not manage to scout this, yeah, Saint not even moving out to put any pressure on, just being very careful to make sure that Iris does not get the scout inside of his main, because he really does not want to get this attack scouted from him, because he's going to be putting on the early pressure and try to just finish it off, do as much damage at natural expansion as he can, force a float. Academy, meanwhile, up for Iris. Iris, I got to say, got to feel a little bit suspicious, because, you know, he was pushing his SCV into no man's land at that point, but Saint being very aggressive with killing the scout, sending out yet another SCV to get a scout up, because he got to be suspicious at this point, got to get a scout in there, got to get the scout information so he knows what's coming. There are Hydralisks alongside a drone actually coming and drone up their left-hand position. Possibly take a base. There's a Hydra on the ramp. And the Hydra actually moving up the ramps. This CV not going to be able to get up. So yet again denied. Still don't know whether Iris is going to be ready for this. He's meanwhile getting that Academy is now up. So Consummate Station RW coming up. He's also getting an EJ Bay up. So upgrades and turrets are going to be on the way just in case. He still might be expecting that 2-base Muta. So if we see a bunch of turrets coming up, he's going to be could be in a lot of trouble actually.
So yeah, I think what it looks like what Saint is up to is exactly what I suggested: is show 2-base play, then immediately just turn around, go lurkers instead, which are much easier for defending expansions all over this map, either at the 6 o'clock or additional expansion in the top left. Take a quick third gas. Second bunker being placed. See, yeah, this is kind of the critical thing. Is Iris thinks, oh, okay, I need to worry about an attack coming and maybe some lurkers that are going to be running up into my base. And instead, you see much more defensive play, or you see much more kind of the switch around, going to play an economic game with lurkers to support and try to defend these expansions out in the field. And we're probably going to again see a quick switch to Hive Tech, and then those 2 lurkers going to be able to need to get in position though. I'm going to be able to defend something, and also that 6 o'clock that was scouted is just going to throw Iris off. He's going to be like, wait a minute, I didn't see a third base, and you can see he's got that SCV planted there and everything. He's waiting for that 3 o'clock base to be taken out, and so he's going to need to comset that top left and that bottom right to really get an indication of what's going on. And that Queen's Nest is going to be up after not too long, and that Queen's Nest plus the Nidus Canal should be out for Saint. The critical thing is, this drone transfer. Ouch! This could actually hurt a lot, and it looks like this is brilliant by Iris, knowing that, just anticipating this beautifully. He's saying, well, okay, I'm not going to be able to go and take out this expansion, but what I can do is make sure that it's not saturated, and it looks like the drone's going to get hunted down and taken out, going to get wiped out, and that's actually going to set Hiva back a little bit more than he, especially at the station, really wanted to be. And now Iris has confirmed where that expansion is, I'm sorry, I keep saying Hiva. Saint is actually going to end up a little bit economically behind from the place he would want it to be. Granted, Iris did invest in an additional bunker, and he was playing a little bit more defensively than he needed to, but I still think Iris is going to be in a much better position now in this match, especially not going to have to deal with an extremely early, well-saturated top left-hand base. And additionally, if Saint's going to saturate, he's got to wait for that Nidus Canal, so it's going to be a while before that third base is really up and running, which is going to give Iris a lot of time to catch up economically. So interesting play here altogether, and I think in that one fell swoop, that one maneuver, Iris has kind of opened up this game for himself.
Yeah, just very interesting to see how these players just kind of swing around up and down. Meanwhile, Iris, just going to tech up. I said meanwhile twice there. Whoops. Very Saint is going to be able to put up a pretty strong defensive perimeter. Hive Tech is on the way, although Iris did get a scout on that. Scanned the main just as Hive was on the way. He has a pretty good defense position. Zerg is trying to run by, but those bunkers positioned pretty well. Iris is going to be able to just macro up at the moment, getting his science facility up, getting some Raxes up, going to be able to pump on those 5 Raxes. Get those forces up, going to scan the defensive line. Not even going to think of pushing this until he has a tank or two. There are just a bunch of those all across that bridge. And that's one of the things I like, actually, for Terran, is that one single bridge that, okay, you can plant lurkers on the opposite side, but if you get tanks and just shell the crap out of the defense, you're still going to be able to push inside, I feel. Terrans have been fairly successful against Zerg on this map. But at this point, I think, let's see, Ar's just going to... Not really quite sure whether he wants to just wait for his forces, get a larger force up before he tries to do something, or just try to move with his force that he has on the ground and do some damage. He's picking off drones that are just being transferred. Some Zergs on the alongside, they're just getting it picked off. He does have 2 tanks going. We're going to see whether he decides to push that. He has actually 2 forces on the ground. While on the opposite, Saint actually getting his Spire up alongside a Defiler Den.
Yeah, and I think this was actually a critical mistake from Saint. I think before he actually went that tech... Oh, never mind, he does have a Nidus Canal. I thought he didn't plant that Nidus Canal down. This is an interesting maneuver here from Iris. He's going to make sure that there can't be any reinforcements from the ground. He's going to have to send it basically from that Nidus, and in the meantime he's going to use an elevator, which he was going to have to wait for anyway to really take out this expansion to the north. And no, the Nidus Canal isn't finished. Okay, the Nidus Canal does get finished just in time. Ooh, that was actually really close there, and I think that was basically a matter of 10, 20 seconds. So the lurkers are going to be able to come out. They are going to be able to defend against this, and it looks like he's got several Sunken Colonies to defend as well. But which, again, this is kind of the difficulty of this map, is when you can get the lurkers out, you can get the ramp position, you can work with that. It's easy to defend bases for Zerg at this stage of the game. But it looks like a second starport to kind of switch back around. But Irish just missing a little bit of an opportunity there, which I thought with that drone, kind of the lack of drones in that upper left, it would have opened up. But now he's starting to bear down that bottom left-hand corner. And I'm not sure if the drones actually, I'm not sure that Swarm is actually going to be enough to stop this attack, because he's only got a couple Zerglings here. Iris able to just press up, and I think he's going to have the Medic Marine Force to kind of engage it. Second Swarm, and I thought actually if he is going to be able to get his tanks out, and he's going to be able to just move right back in and take position once again, right there, just the way that that storm was working, and that Swarm was working, and I think if he can press that, that's the other problem for Zerg actually on this map, is if you lose position on that ramp, and Medic Marines can just kind of camp out on that exterior, you end up in a lot of trouble, because you're basically boxed in, you can't really move your troops out, and it looks like that dropship now going. Ooh, looks like there's some Scourge that are ready to run headlong into that. But critically, you have more difficulty. Oh, it looks like that dropship is going to be able to get in. Oh, never mind. Take it back. That actually hurts a lot. Now Iris can't really put any pressure on that top left base, which is going to allow basically troops to sit there on the ground otherwise, and is going to open up some more defensive posturing near that bridge. But critically, what that also does is having position outside that bridge lets Iris expand and take additional expansions without really worrying about it too much. And he also doesn't have to worry about his reinforcement points. He can just move his troops right across the field, knowing he has basically map control. He doesn't have to worry about the counterattacks and these sort of lurker traps out in the line. He can kind of just macro per normal. Still providing a little bit of harass. Hasn't got any drones yet, but he's expending a couple of Zerglings here and there. It looks like that single lurker not enough to kill that Marine. Finally able to take out that medic, but not getting any drone. Okay, he manages to get one drone, might get two in the micro set. Doesn't look like Saint realizes that lurker's out of range, so end up losing more drones than he really needed to here.
Freaking hero Marine up the upper left-hand position, finally gonna get killed. Iris not microing it. Still could have been all persistent and microed it. He still had a stim or two left in him. Meanwhile now, Saint actually going to move outside with his lurkers across the bridges, setting up a stronger defensive perimeter. And I think soon enough he's going to be able to take the upper left-hand position, just going to stick on those four gases. Iris, meanwhile, actually going to pick up 3 o'clock, try to get another base for himself, and just continue macroing up. He has 2 on upgrades, while only Carapace 1 on the opposite side for Saint. So upgrade advantage definitely for him. Meanwhile, Saint going to try to move out right into tank fire. We're going to see where actually second Dark Swarm going to come in. Those force going to be forced to retreat. The tank's going to sit there and just sacrifice its life. Give its life to the Terran Dominion. Irish just going to continue producing, getting those 2 eBays up, definitely getting those upgrades up. Something I really like seeing from Irish. He tends to get that second eBay up pretty quickly, gets that upgrades, and tends to give him an advantage earlier on, especially when it's a Zerg that doesn't upgrade as quickly as he does. But I'm just looking forward to see what Saint goes with this. He's just a lurker wing with Defiler support at this point. Has some Science Vessel. No! Almost picks up the Science Vessel, not quite managing to. But Irish still just being threatened in the upper left-hand position. Just going to deny that natural expansion while he picks up his own third. Natural expansion in the upper left-hand, meanwhile picks up his own third. Still being irritating with those random Marines in random locations. Drones coming in to try to put down a hatchery. He's going to just irradiate the lurker and the Defiler there. So at the moment he's playing a delaying game. Still has a fairly large force close to the upper left-hand alongside some science vessels, to support. And finally has some vultures in place, so saw some mines all over the place. So if he manages to just get those upgrades on them as well and just plant mines all over the place, as soon as ultras come into the game, that's going to delay those significantly quite as well.
Yeah, I think Saint, a couple of Marines hiding in that back corner, might be able to get some additional kills. What I'm kind of surprised that Iris has not done is bring a tank. I mean, I know it's a long way to go, but bring a tank to that upper left and basically force Saint out of position there. And the way it's playing currently, if Iris does not take out, big attack force there. If he does not take out everything this upper left, Saint is just going to have too much gas to work with. He's going to have too much of an economy to work with. He needs to run in and irradiate all of this and do that sooner rather than later. And I know it's difficult to go uphill, especially with these defensive positions that he's kind of working with. But he has to do it. He's got to get it someplace, and it looks like he's backing off instead. As a result, it looks like Saint's going to be in. Ouch! Nice lurker trap, catching a lot of those medic Marines out in the middle. But yeah, as a result, I think Iris, even though he's going to have medic Marines, he's not going to be able to deal with Saint's economy in too long, and he's almost looking a little bit ambivalent. He's almost looking a little bit indecisive here as to what he wants to do, bringing his medic Marines back to the ground, kind of moving around the corner, still wanting to make sure that Saint can't take that 6 o'clock, but I don't know how long he's going to be able to keep that out of the hands. Moving up some more Radiate, did manage to take out a Defiler, gets all of his Science Vessels plagued. That was almost like the perfect formation right there to get plagued, which kind of sucks. But look, I really don't know what Iris can do at this match at this stage. He's got to take out something that bottom left, and I just feel like he's let Saint sit on 3 gas for too long. Saint's about to pick up his 4th. He's going to have the Carapace upgrades. I don't think he's going to be able to hold that 6 for very long. And if he didn't run up, and which he isn't being, if he doesn't run up and be aggressive and take this out, really, yeah, I think he's just going to end up falling too far economically behind. Well, specifically technologically behind. I don't think he's going to be able to deal with the army that Saint's able to produce.
One single tank at that upper left-hand position might have actually just given him the game. There were nothing but lurkers to defend at that position. He was irradiating everything, but just not giving him enough time to really push in. Didn't want to lose his army, but now might have actually given Saint a chance to start pushing out with his own forces and try to do some damage. He's still irradiating a lot of forces, getting even more second plague on those Science Vessels. At the very least, Iris is not actually lost. I was fine just as I say that Scourge come in and start picking off Science Vessels like a meal to them. Hello, Science Vessels. Die now. Thank you. No, Mr. Bond. I expect you to die. And die they do. So at this point, Iris, okay, he has picked up his 3rd. Has even forced at the upper right-hand position. Don't think they're planning out bases yet. Just kind of getting ready for that eventuality. But at least he's himself is sitting on his 3rd gas, getting those more factories out there. Should be starting to get those tanks out in the field, picking off lurkers that are just waiting there to trap him. But he really needs to go do some damage. He's thinking of pushing up at that upper left end yet again. A lot of lurkers bunched up, so he's going to be very dangerous. He does not have a large enough attack force. Mutalisk coming in, picking off Science Vessels. It's another critical fact. Just one single Mutal is going to be able to come in, do a lot of damage. Iris at the very least going to delay the 9 o'clock position, while he does pick up a base at the upper right hand. So he's actually reacting to heavy economy with his own heavy economy. I expect to be seeing, quite a bit more Raxus soon enough. 3 starports producing Sicils at this point, and also drop ships. So he's going to try to at least get a drop inside of the main since he can't seem to breach. And that's a lurkers killing crap load of fire bets there. And Iris could actually have been a distractionary attack of sorts, so he can try to move his dropships into the main. If he actually manages to move us in the main, there is an Nidus Canal. There are 3 second colonies, so I actually don't think this. I think this is actually a fool's errand. And Iris should actually not manage to accomplish too much with his Zerglings coming in right to meet any forces as soon as they pump out. So, Iris. Few Marines going to get on the ground. Couple medics to support. You didn't lose too much, but those Nidus Canals in place, it's going to be enough. Scourge coming in to go and pick off those Science Vessels. Ultra is in play finally for Saint. Finally, those Ultras in play, and I'm not quite sure whether Iris has enough to react to this. He's lost a lot of Science Vessels. The Radiates are not going to come in. He's actually is going to be able to pick off those Ultras. Those attack forces is actually going to manage to at least halt the gas production, as long as he doesn't run into those sunken colonies. But he really should be getting those bases up as he's doing it. Just get up a larger army, because he's going to need that to do a significant amount of damage to Saint here.
This is actually an interesting play. I like the way Iris is playing this. He's going to go, I guess, Sauron Terran here. Just outproduce Saint, starve him out over the long run. So he's blocking off that 6 o'clock. He's going to take that 6 o'clock himself. He was trying to, the way he postured his army and just picked off troops along the corner, he was forcing Saint to invest in troops rather than really the drone production he was looking for. And with the heavy lurkers that he's kind of picking out there, actually some pretty heavy gas units, and also, the Scourge did manage to take down some Science Vessels, but those are also Scourges that weren't going towards Ultralisk. It looks like instead he's just going to try to play his own defensive posture, force basically Saint to run to him, get something accomplished on his end. I think Saint just realized, oh wait, he's got the entirety of the map at this stage, I need to do something. Is able to take out some Medic Marines in that top left, might be able to get a lot of SCVs as well. It looks like, just running right into a headline to the lurker line, and I think all those, oh man, that hurt. And that was actually pretty critical, I would say, to Iris's plan, so never mind. He needed to keep, if you're going to go out producing a Zerg, and you can see the barracks being produced for exactly that purpose, you need to get your SCVs in transition. So now he needs to go and be aggressive and strike an equivalent blow, and he might be able to do it with these dropships that are moving to this top left-hand corner, knowing that so many Ultralisks were kind of pitted mid-map. And I think also that 9 o'clock is very exposed, so it looks like attacks happening everywhere. Saint going to try try to take the 6 o'clock, a big army moving out to the 9 o'clock, and Iris in the meantime attacking that top left, and it didn't look like Saint was prepared to deal with any of this. He's going for a counterattack at the main. Wow. Troops going everywhere. I think Iris actually might be able to take the game with this match. He not getting a lot of drones there, but he is able to take out that 9 o'clock. The counterattack pushing in, able to get a couple of troops, and actually, never mind, Saint's going to be able to flood in directly to Iris's main. Not enough mines there to stop this, and there is a swarm to protect to take out those 2 bunkers. Might be able to get that natural secondary. And wow, I don't know who's going to come out on top here. Iris going in with some more attacks in this top left, going to be able to try to wipe this out. Lurkers moving into the natural secondary, might be able to pick off those dropships as well. The Ultra is still raining down destruction. 2 Lurkers to try to take out some more attack forces to pin the rest of this back. And once the dust settles, we'll see who's ahead, but right now it's anybody's game.
Aggression in all parts. Iris going to move towards the natural expansion, the upper left-hand position, while Saint's attacking his own natural expansion. There are Dark Swarm up all over the... Oh my god, just aggression on all sides. Ultralisk coming in, getting some irradiates on those Ultralisks. And I think Iris' force at the upper left is actually going to get cleared up. Oh man, irradiates all force. I think actually the assaulting forces on both sides going to get cleared up. Although I think Iris might have lost a bit more. Lost his entire ground army at the upper left-hand position. Although the same can be said by saying he has still some Ultras out in the field alongside some Zorg. He's not really sure whether he's going to be able to accomplish anything with those or not. Iris has managed to, meanwhile, get some, well, very limited amount of mining up the upper left-hand position, but not really producing any troops as once again fire. But they're saying he's actually going to be able to move around with those Zorg. He's picking up all those forces coming in the barracks. He's going to force a flow to the natural expansion. And I think Iris at this point only really mining, limited mining in his main, mining at the 3 o'clock position. An Ultra going to come in there, going to try to start attacking the bunker, forcing floats on all sides, and I think is actually outproducing Iris at this point. Iris is not really seeing an army from there. Finally, some forces coming in from his own main, while Saint just flooding Ultras and Zerglings to the upper right-hand position because he knows that's where he needs to go. He knows that where he needs to do the damage that he is doing. Meanwhile, going to lose some of the forces that going at 3 o'clock. Send Ultras and Zerglings right away. There is a Dark Swarm. There's a Dark Swarm over the bunker. The bunker's going to go down momentarily. Reinforcement is not going to be enough in time for Iris, and I think actually Iris, he needed to do something with a counter to the upper left-hand position. Is going to try to go with dropships. There are spore colonies ready for this, Mutas and Hydras and Scourge and everything, and I think that just might have been game right there.
Wow, this is absolutely nuts. Okay, oh yeah, loses a lot of dropships right there. I don't know that that's game yet because Iris is losing that 9 o'clock, but he's still running at the 6 o'clock, and I think he's still minimally running at that top right, and it almost feels like Iris is playing like a Zerg player at this stage, trying to force Saint to have expansions everywhere and contend with him everywhere on the map. But I think that Saint's actually going to come out with this just because it looks like he is doing an excellent job of specifically keeping Iris's attack force down, and he's cleaning up attack forces everywhere. It looks like Iris did manage to sneak some sort of medic marine army out to the 9 o'clock once again. He might be able to take that out, and I still think it's absolutely anybody's game. Still some science vessels out in the field. Ooh, that natural expansion, if it does get run down, Saint could end up in a lot of trouble, but Iris is just running an absolutely incredible economy right here. He's got that 6 o'clock up. Again, I still think he's not mining very heavily, but he's still mining. Never mind, actually. I take that back. Now that I think about it. Natural expansion completely down. The 6 o'clock is the only mining base at this stage, and so actually Iris does manage to take out that top left, but it's just a weird game at this stage. Counterattacks happening everywhere, drones running away, getting killed alongside. This game is nuts. This is insane. I don't think I've seen this many attacks and counterattacks in any match I've ever casted, and this is absolutely brutal late game. This is huge economy versus huge economy at its absolute best. Yeah, that 6 o'clock just has a skeleton crew. I think Saint has won it though, because Iris just hasn't been mining this entire time, and Saint, even though he lost that natural expansion, is still mining at that 9 o'clock expansion, still mining at that main there, and it's just a matter of time before he gets that hatchery back up. Looks like a little bit of a clever medic blockade, but still, Iris, yeah, he's only mining out of that 6 o'clock, and I don't think he can hold anything else. Maybe he can re-land that 3 o'clock. Okay, never mind, he doesn't even have that upper right landed. I thought he had re-landed and started mining. The Ultralisk able to pound its way through, and now it looks like Iris is going to lose that 6 o'clock as well. As soon as he loses the 6 o'clock, got to get a swarm down to stop that, actually. Actually fling right back across that bridge, moving in some more zerglings. Looks like he does have that swarm coming alongside. If he can take out that 6 o'clock, that'll be the nail in the coffin, but another dropship force, never mind some science vessels going up to do some erasers this top left, and if he can erase that, that'll at least give him some economic leverage to work with here. And he is erasing here, and doesn't look like Saint realizes it. The Nidus Canal's right there as well, The 6 o'clock being breached, Ultralisks running in, a single Scourge running to take out that Science Vessel, not able to do so. The drones finally fleeing, but getting just run down and wiped out. And with that eraser trick, I don't think Iris is actually going to be able to hold here. He's got SCVs off the line trying to defend. He doesn't have any Medic Marines to support as well. He just hasn't been able to get the army. So Iris, even though he was able to stop Saint's economy at the top left, and it looks like he's going to go for another racer, 2 Mulisks there. Wow, he might be able to buy himself some time, but I don't think it's going to be enough. He's not mining anywhere. I don't think he has enough SCVs, and I don't know how he'd be able to transfer SCVs to do anything otherwise. And I think Saint still is going to be able to produce an army, but still, I don't know. Maybe Iris will be able to produce enough troops. Maybe Saint just does not have enough in economy. Maybe he's just going to continue to produce drones. That was a huge mine, actually, because it's... no, never mind. I think Saint has a large enough army on the ground where he's going to be able to defend. He's going to be able to replenish. And I don't think Iris is anywhere at this stage. You can take anything. You can see the barracks absolutely not building. So even though an excellent effort on his part, I think Saint is still going to come out with this.
Just not enough forces, not enough production, getting his entire ground army, whatever's left of his ground forces, plagued. So at this point, Saint just sits pretty. He's actually resaturating his bases at this point. Doesn't even feel the need to get a huge number of forces up mine. Going to pick off a single Ultralisks. Actually, somehow, Iris managing to get 2 tanks out of nowhere. No idea where the heck he got those from, but he's going to move around with those plagued forces. Those medics are at least going to be able to heal him up. But I think this is just going to be a final attack coming in from Iris very soon. He's going to need to get something accomplished. He lost the SCV at the 6 o'clock. He's moving SCVs finally to that 3 o'clock. He's going to start try to land that again and try to do something, try to defend his locations. But he's in a very bad way overall. No science vessels from him because he's had the science vessel at the upper left-hand position. I think he might have lost them. I'm not quite sure whether I saw a science vessel with his crew. Might have seen one. Actually, some SCVs at that upper right-hand position engaging a Zergling and finally picking it off. But Iris just desperate for some mining, desperate for something. Ultras and Zerg is going to move right towards his tanks. Like, oh no! Siege his tanks, and Ultra's going to right alongside. That's going to be the end of his forces. There's a plague coming in, pick off everything, and finally, GG coming in from Iris. So Saint moves out a long flash despite having lost to him pretty badly. And Iris not going to get an opportunity this time to try to reclaim and go for yet another miracle run like you did last season. So GG by both players, but Saint coming out on top.
I think that was the best game of the year right there. That was an excellent match. Thank you guys for watching, everyone on the live cast. Thank you for listening, and thanks again to Ranchin for being alongside and doing this with me. GG. Hope you can see you guys in the next match.